I took a $10 bill and I turned it into $25,000. How did I do it? Let's follow along on my journey. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Jason Mattis, of course, with Winning Bets. I'm really excited to talk with you guys on this video. This isn't a video where I give out free picks, whether it's my daily morning show, or you guys, of course, know I have NASCAR shows and soccer shows. We've also got a daily baseball show that we do live every day at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time with myself and the Hockey Squirrel. Not going to do any of that on today's show. I want to actually talk to you guys about something I do over on TikTok. Over on TikTok, I just give out one play a day. And what I do is there's this challenge called Streak to $85,000. Can you win enough bets in a row to start with a $10 bill and roll the profits over so you get to an $85,000? Now, that's the goal, $85,000. Why does the thumbnail say $25,000? Why did my intro say $25,000? That's all part of this exciting journey that I'm going to go ahead and talk to you guys about. Let's first, though, get you up to speed in case you really don't know what challenge I'm talking about. There's a challenge out there, again, it's called Streaking to $85,000, where you start with $10. You make a bet at minus 110 or better, it hits, you roll the profits over. You make another bet at minus 110, it hits, you roll the profits over. These are the $14 amounts, as you can see, that you would bet. So you just start off with a $10 bet. When that hits at minus 110, you just take the full $19.09 and you roll that into bet number 2 at minus 110. If that bet were to hit, you would take all of that and roll that entire $36.44 into the next wager. And you can see it goes so on and so on until you get to where you're making the 14th bet, which is $44-some thousand. So that's basically the gist of the contest. It really can't get any simpler than that. Start with $10, make a bet at minus 110 or better, and just keep rolling the profits over each and every single time, and you'll eventually get to $85,000. So again, my streak started on May 19th and ended on May 28th, and I'm excited to go ahead and walk you through you guys how it went down. All right, so with that being said, let's just jump into this streak and talking about all these winners that we've got. Our first bet was Yankees F5 team total over 2.5 runs at plus 110. And of course, that was a $10 bet that we made over at DraftKings. So basically, this was the typical just fade Bruce Zimmerman game. If you've been following me now for a couple years on Twitter and on YouTube, or even just over the course of this Major League Baseball season, you know how I like to fade Bruce Zimmerman. Although while he has pitched decently this season, that hasn't been normally his track record. And I thought going up against the Yankees now for the 4th time so far already in 2022, he would struggle. And that's exactly what happened. He gave up 2 runs in the first inning via Giancarlo Stanton's single, and then Stanton got him in the 4th inning as he hit a home run in the top of the 4th inning to go ahead and cash that bet, as that was the 3rd run, cashing over 2.5 runs through the first 5 innings at a plus 110 to go ahead and kick off our streak. Bet number 2 was Twins F5 team total over 2.5 runs at plus 125 versus the Royals for $19.09. Notice I said for $19.09. I just told you we made the bet number 1 at plus 110. That means we were able to keep some of those extra profits, right? You roll the profits over, but you're assuming you're betting minus 110. So if you make a bet that's better than minus 110, like our first wager was at plus 110, you get to pocket a little bit of extra money. That was pretty cool to do. We'll go ahead and talk about that in a little bit more detail now, but I just want to let you know that there is opportunities throughout the streak to go ahead and pocket some money if you make a bet better than minus 110. But back to the bet though, we had Twins F5 team total, again, placed over at DraftKings for $19.09. And in this game, we were just fading Daniel Lynch. He's a starter there for the Royals, a left-handed starter. Combined with him not being very good, but also the Twins entered that game versus left-handed pitching in the top 5 across a lot of categories in a recent 10-day stretch. They were just absolutely on fire versus left-handed pitching, and that continued into this ball game as we got a first inning cash. They got 4 runs total in that first 5, but they were able to cash it in that first inning. So that was an easy win right there. So we're 2-0 so far on a streak, relatively easy wins. Let's see what happened on pick number 3. Pick number 3 would be a little bit more of a sweat. We again stay with baseball. We did Diamondbacks team total over 3.5 runs at plus 107. This was for $36.44. This bet was placed over at Bet Rivers. You had the Diamondbacks taking on the Cubs this day. This series had been high scoring, so I like that. I mean, the previous games had just been high scoring. And the Diamondbacks were going up against Justin Steele, the starter there for the Chicago Cubs. I'm just not a big fan of him. Look, the Diamondbacks only had 1 run, though, through the 7th inning, so this was extremely sweaty. Then in the 8th inning, though, they pulled it on against this really terrible Cubs bullpen. They got a home run versus Pavin Smith to make it 2 runs. And then still in the 8th inning, they got a double versus McCarthy, or from McCarthy, to go ahead and score another run. There it was. And then a single from Varsho scores McCarthy on the next batter. And that, my friends, is how you get to over 3.5 runs for a team total for those Diamondbacks. And cash it. What was probably our first real sweat, right? Yankees cash easily. Twins cash extremely easy. But this one here, with only 1 run after 7 innings, you only got 2 innings to go, and you need another 3 runs. Yeah, that one was sweaty, but the Diamondbacks came through against that Cubs bullpen. So now we're 3-0 on our quest to get 14 winners right in a row. You want to talk about sweaty? Let's move on now to bet number 4, where it was a parlay. Man, again, you got to do odds at -110. Sometimes a single wager is not at -110 or better, so you got to do a little bit of parlay. This was a 3-legged soccer parlay on the last day of the Premier League. I really just like Brentford and Leeds. I mean, that's really just all I liked, is both teams to score and over 2.5, but that was at -145. So again, we had to add some other legs to this. So we added there to be at least 1 goal in Manchester City versus Villa. And then we also added over 1.5 goals there in Norwich versus Tottenham. We made this bet for $69.56, and this one was played over at FanDuel. First of all, let's talk about these 3 legs and talk about the 2 that were non-sweat. Manchester City versus Villa, need at least 1 goal. Check. That was absolutely dramatic right there. Villa going up 2-0, City making a dramatic comeback. Huge drama right there in City going on and winning the Premier League. The other bet, or the other leg there, was the over 1.5 goals between Norwich and Tottenham. Easy. Tottenham destroyed them 5-0. Knew they weren't going to lose that game. They could actually afford to draw that game, but Norwich is actually terrible. So Spurs showed up and absolutely crushed them. The other leg, again, was the only one that I really liked in terms of, needing it for the challenge. Of course, I liked over 1.5 goals. I liked over 0.5 goals, but they're just put in, to get you down to -110 or better. What I liked was Brentford versus Leeds. Both teams are scoring over 2.5. You had Brentford at home. They're just playing great football all season long at home. And then you had Leeds fighting for relegation. So they couldn't sit back. At some point, they were going to have to absolutely go for it, more than likely from the start. And I just thought a nice open game of football would lead to goals. Well, we were sweating in this one because we didn't get our first goal until the second half, when Leeds scored in the 56th minute. A relatively quick counter 20 minutes later there by Brentford. They get a goal now in the 78th minute. But here comes a drama. 2 minutes later, the goal scorer there for Brentford goes ahead and picks up a red card. I love and I hate that. I mean, one team's going to get the ball more in that scenario, which is going to be Leeds. That's cool. They need to go ahead and get the win so they can avoid relegations. You kind of like that. But at the same time, you also hate when a team gets a red card, because now they're going to just pack it in, play a little defensive, and it's just hard to break down a 10-man team once they just kind of get tight and compact and they really set up their shape. So that was definitely a love-hate relationship with seeing that red card. But Leeds scored in the 95th minute. It was super dramatic. It was just outside the top of the box. It was off a corner, and Jack Harrison volleyed the ball in to the bottom right corner of the net. Fantastic strike, fantastic just moment right there. Leeds now, with that goal, they now, do not get relegated down the championship. They get to stay in the Premier League, and we, of course, cash our bet in the 95th minute. It was literally almost like the last kick of the ball. It was absolutely dramatic. It's crazy how the leg I put in there, the leg I liked, that's the one that goes down to the absolute end. But sweaty, but it always feels good to cash with you guys. So that was bet number 4 in our quest to win 14 in a row. What was bet number 5? Well, we placed this bet over at Bet Rivers for $132.79. We went to the French Open. We did a ladies match there of Dodin versus Petrovic. We did odds of +120. We said what they're going to be over 9.5 games to be played in the first set. Nice 6-4 finish. It was almost not going to be a cash because Petrovic had it 5-3 to serve out the first set, but she was broken. Woo! Dramatic stuff right there, but we got a cash, and the first set ended 6-4 to give us our 5th winner. Bet number 6, we stayed with the French Open. This time we went over to the men's side. We did a match there between 2 fellows that I can't pronounce their name. It was Carablas Brena versus Odo. I clearly butchered both of those guys' names, but we took in that match with over 37.5 games at -105 over at DraftKings for $253.50. This was easy. Finished with 46 games. It was a 5-setter. It was absolutely easy. You could say maybe you got lucky because Ott was down 0-2 and he battled all the way back to force 5 sets, but I always thought it was going to be a 5-setter. That's why I was completely comfortable not only making this bet, but putting $253 on it. It just went to a 5-setter in maybe a little bit of an unconventional way, with the guy had to battle back from 2 sets down. but it was always a 5-setter to me. We got a very easy cash there with 46 games to give us win number 6. Bet number 7 was a little sweaty with Josiah Gray over 4.5 hits allowed at plus 108 for $483.95, which we place over at FanDuel. Look, Gray pitched 3 innings. He allowed 7 runs, but he only gave up 5 hits. I mean, it was absolutely dramatic. It cashed at the end of the 3rd inning, just before he got the hook. It was super sweaty. You could see it like, okay, you know, he definitely wasn't going to come out for the 4th inning. The opponent there was absolutely rocking him. I mean, rocking him. Gave him 7 runs in 3 innings. You knew that he just had to keep getting hits. And the thing that was taken away from hits with him was walks. He was giving up some walks. So luckily he got his command, I don't want to say under control, because he wasn't getting guys out. Under control in the fact that he wasn't giving up walks. He was giving up meatballs right down the middle of the plate, thankfully for us, and guys were able to get some hits, and he went over 4.5 hits allowed. Sweaty, but we got there for cash number 7. Who doesn't like a good parlay? And that's what we did for bet number 8. We did a 3-legged French Open moneyline parlay at minus 101. For $923.90, which was placed over at FanDuel. We had 3 legs here. Obviously, we had 2 gentlemen and 1 lady. We had the Canadian there, and again, a name I'll end up butchering. The Felix AA guy. He absolutely won. He was a straight set winner. No sweat win right there for him. Easy stuff. Kerber right there in her match. She won in 2 sets. It was 6-1, 7-6, so relatively easy right there, even though the second set did go to a tiebreaker. Kerber got the job done. The sweat, and I mean the sweat, was Schwartzman right here in this matchup. He was down 2 sets. He was down 2 sets, and I thought for sure it was over. I mean, could he come back? Yeah, I obviously thought he was a better player. That's why I put him in the parlay. But to be down 2 sets, and you now got to win the next 3 to go ahead and win the match, that's tough. Boy, did he flip a switch, because he went 6-2, 6-2, 6-2 to close out a win and give us an extremely sweaty cash. The dollar bills were wet. It was so sweaty after that one. I sweated so much with Schwartzman down 2. And then he started batting. You're like, oh my God, is he actually gonna, he's actually gonna do this. Oh, I had a good time with you guys on TikTok celebrating that win. Woo, win number 8 for us. Well, hey, that 3-legged parlay worked for bet number 8, so why not do it for bet number 9? That's exactly what we did. Another 3-legged French Open moneyline parlay at plus 108 for $1,763.80, and this one was placed over at FanDuel. You're going to start to see going forward, all these bets are placed at FanDuel, and we'll kind of touch on that a little bit later on. But we had 3 ladies in this one. We had Padosa, we had Rabakina, and we had Pagula. There were the 3 ladies. Padosa won in 3 sets. It was relatively comfortable win. She won the 1st set. She won the 3rd set. Lots of times, you know, these things go the full distance, whether it's 3 sets, 5 sets, it happens. It was a relatively comfortable win. I watched that entire match. Rabinko also won in straight sets, 6-4, 6-0, no sweat right there. Pagula, she won in 3 sets, but it was sweaty. Won the 1st set, 6-1, easy winner right there. The 2nd set, it was such madness. She was up 2 break points, and she lost 5-7, up 2 break points. 2 break points. She had 3 match points on her racket in that 2nd set. 3 match points on her racket. She's serving and couldn't get the job done, was broken multiple times to lose her 2 break advantage, and eventually going on to lose that 2nd set. What happened in that 3rd set? Go up an early quick 2 breaks. Like, sweet, got $1,700 on this bet. My girl just went up 2 breaks in the 3rd set. She lost those 2 breaks, let the girl come all the way back on her. It's 5-4, and she got it done 6-4 on match point number 8. This match was definitely back and forth. Pagula had moments where she was absolutely struggling. Her opponent was able to battle back, get back in the match, and make this one super competitive and give us another sweaty cash. But I love sweating with you guys for win number 8 on this, or win number 9, I should say. Win number 9 on this streak. All right, enough of that sweating. Let's get back to some nice, easy winners. That's what we did with bet number 10. We took the Nationals team total over 4 runs versus the Rockies for $3,367.25. Again, another bet that was made over a FanDuel. This was just fade Herman Marquez game. I've been fading this bum all season long. He is absolutely terrible. And you had the added bonus that the Nationals are throwing Patrick Corbin, who also also gets rocked. This game just had high scoring written all over it. And again, this was just fade Marquez, right? I mean, Corbin was like a little added bonus. It was just generally going to keep the game high scoring. But no. We were doing what we've been doing all season long, which is fade Marquez. Easy winner. They got 4 runs in the first inning. After the first inning, we were in a sweat-free position. That being said, I never sweated so damn much in a sweat-free position. I say sweat-free because if they ended with 4 runs, we would have gotten our wager back, and okay, we'll make another $3,300 back. But boy, was I just extremely uncomfortable waiting for that 5th run. We got in the 4th inning, and the Nationals ended up finishing with 7 runs altogether. So may have been sweat-free, but I was certainly sweating just a little bit. But another easy cash for us. The easy cash is just keep on coming. We're on bet number 11 between the Royals and Twins. We did over 8.5 runs at -102 for $6,428.38. Again, another bet that was placed over at FanDuel. This was Brad Keller versus Bailey Ober. And what did we like about this matchup? 2 really good offenses coming into it at the time. They were both top 12 offenses in the span of the last 10 days. Bullpen-wise, they were both in the bottom 10 coming into this game. And then the 2 starters had just faced off. These opponents had just faced off the previous week. Keller had seen the Twins, and Ober had seen the Royals just in their last start. That's like a dream matchup for me. Do the hitters know the pitchers? Yep, they just faced each other last week. How's the bullpen? Well, in this scenario, both of them were crap. How are the offenses? Well, in this scenario, both the offenses were gun. Easy bet. Easy winner. 17 total runs, and we got the cash in the 4th inning. Another easy winner. All right, and for bet number 12, it was with the Royals and Twins again. This one, we did the Royals team total over 4 runs at even money for $12,272.36. And of course, this bet was placed over at FanDuel. This was just fade Chris Archer and also fade that terrible bullpen, right? We just talked about in bet number 11 how the Twins had a bottom 10 bullpen coming to this game. Well, that was obviously certainly true after giving up 17 total runs in the night before. And then you had Chris Archer on the bump, who just been struggling so far this season. He had seen these Royals not too long ago, so another easy bet, another easy win, and another bet that cashed in the 4th inning, and the Royals ended that game with 7 runs, so easy winner right there. All right, so bet number 13 is where we start to get into the drama and why did I only make $25,000 as opposed to $85,000? I just told you guys how we've kind of been making every single bet at FanDuel. I use DraftKings, PointsBet, BetMGM, I mean, you really use them all, Caesars, FanDuel. I mean, I use all the sports books. You'd be crazy not to price shop, and you'd be crazy not to use all these sports books promos. So I use them all. But you start getting into like, $17 bets, $3,300 bets, 60, what was it, 4, 12. I don't have that much money, in each sports book. So I was married to FanDuel at this point. Well, at bet number 13, I tried to make a bet, and they limited me. Yeah, you can see right here, they limited me to only making a $7,800 bet. Well, that's no good. I need a $23,000 bet. So this happened on Memorial Day weekend. I'm up in Michigan with the family. We're just hanging out for the weekend, right? I don't have time to contact FanDuel support. I've done that before. You hit them up online and you join their queue and you're somehow deep. All right, I was like, all right, well, let me just see how deep the queue is and maybe I can sneak in a quick one here. My wife won't notice. Pulled the phone up, tried to get in the support queue, and I was 36 deep. I'm like, well, wife's gonna be really upset with me if I'm on vacation and here I am talking to FanDuel support. So not gonna do that. When I get home on Monday, Memorial Day, I'll contact FanDuel support and we'll figure out what's going on because I was trying to make bet number 13 on Sunday. So I didn't think it was the end of the world. Take one day off, figure out what's going on Monday when I'm back in Chicago, and then make a $23,000 bet on Monday. Well, come Monday, by the time we got home, our kids were starting to get sick Sunday night. We test our kids Monday morning for COVID, and they got COVID. The whole family's got COVID. Now we're isolating, and that just absolutely, killed anything I had to do in terms of Monday for contacting FanDuel. We live in a 17 square foot apartment. We're trying to isolate the one kid, the almost 3-year-old who's got COVID. We're trying to isolate him from the 10-month-old who, doesn't have COVID at that time. We didn't think he did. Now we've come to find out all 4 of us have COVID, of course, because we're living in such a small apartment, breathing and living on top of each other. But again, that Monday, though, we're trying to separate everybody. So the wife goes with one kid, I go with another kid. I can't contact FanDuel support support. I can't do much of anything. So another day passes of not being able to make a $23,000 bet. At that time, I just figured it's over, right? You've taken 2 days off. I'd have no problem making a $23,000 bet if I'm just rolling along, you know, day after day, day after day. But after taking 2 days off, how do I decide today's the day to jump back in with a $23,000 bet? $23,000 bets is obviously nowhere near the normal bet amount that I would normally make. So when do I say, you know what, guys, today's the day I'm going to do it? I've got the issue fixed with FanDuel, which I've still never really contacted FanDuel, so I don't really know if the issue is fixed. But today's the day I'm going to jump back in with a $23,000 bet. How do you make that determination? I have no problem making it again when you're running hot, but to sit on the sidelines for a few days and jump back in, I thought there was no way I could do that. So that's why instead of turning $10 into $85,000, I only took $10 and turned it into $25,000. Still pretty damn good payday to me though. All right, so a couple notes though on this streak, and then let's talk about total profit because everybody wants to know, how much money did you make, dude? All right, well, a couple notes. The bets have to be at -110 or better. We had 8 of our 12 bets at plus money. We had one at plus 25 was the highest. We had another one at plus 120. We had just so many plus money bets, 8 of the 12. So I'm not looking for -110. I'm looking for bets that I like. And if they're plus 125, cool. I know that's quote unquote an underdog, but if my research says that's a good play, I'll go ahead and use it and I'll slap, you know, what, that Royals bet. I put $12,000 on an even money bet. I'm relatively an underdog. I put $12,000 on it. Got no problem with that. Our worst odds was -105. We didn't even do -110. Our worst was -105, and our best was plus 125. Absolutely love that. The plus 125 bet was that Twins F5 team total. That was bet number 2. And that -105 bet was that game in that French Open between those two men over 37.5, which again was that another easy winner there for bet number 6. Another note to point out here on our streak is you notice towards the end, all those bets were getting at FanDuel. I mentioned, you know, not having, even though I have other sports books, I don't have that much money clearly in those other sports books. That was probably where I wish I wasn't married to FanDuel. If you guys follow me, at least during this baseball season, I make a lot of F5 team total bets. I make a killing of identifying a bad starting pitcher versus a good offense, and I'll take the F5 team total before we can get into the bullpen, and let's just beat up the starter. Well, FanDuel doesn't have that bet. So going forward, and we'll talk about it here a little bit later, but I am still doing the challenge, and I'm trying to stay, once I get to like bet around 7, 8, around that like $1,000 range, I'm trying to do it all on DraftKings so I can have those F5s, you know, available to me. So that was definitely unfortunate, you know, being married to FanDuel there for so long in that challenge. All right, now let's just get to what everybody wants to know is how much money did you make? Well, for starters, before I just reveal what was that last bet and what was that payout, because that is not what our total profit was. Why is that not our total profit? Because every time we make a bet that's better than -110, I say roll the profits over, but if you make a bet better than -110, you pocket a little bit and you bet the predetermined amount at let's say it's a second bet, at $19.09, right? Because if you make a -10 wager with $10, you're gonna get back $19.09. So that's what I mean with a predetermined amount. So we were able to profit extra amount and then stick to the predetermined amounts for this challenge. So let's go ahead and run through that. Let's talk about this first wager to make sure you really understand it, and then I'll put up the whole slide here. So let's start with the wager number 1. Told you guys it was Yankees F5 team total at plus 110. You can see right here the payout is more than $19.09. So we pocket everything above that. So we pocketed $1.91 from the first wager. So if we lose, obviously the second bet, we've made $1.91. Not a whole hell of a lot, I'm well aware of that, but now let's put up the figures and show you guys how much I made throughout this. So again, from the first wager, I made an extra $1.91. From that second wager, I made about $6.50. Then you can see from the third wager, made almost $6. Fourth wager, a little bit over $5.50. Then you can see nice $38 hit with that nice fifth wager. $11 or so with that sixth wager. Then you can start to see an $82 win, an $82 win, a $300, a $300, and a $450 win. What does that mean? That totals $1,316. And as you can see right here, this is after bet 11. So what does that mean? That means I could have placed bet number 12, that Royals team total over 4 at even money for $12,000, what was it, $272? I could have lost that wager, but still made over the course of those 11 bets, $1,316. This is why there were some people who were commenting on my TikToks like, dude, you got to stop and just take the money, take the money. I agree. $12,000 is a whole hell of a lot of money, and that would do me a lot of good. but I'd already made 1,300 bucks. It wasn't like I wasn't putting money in my pocket. We were making bets way better than -110. I was putting a lot of money in my pocket. I'd pocketed $1,300 at the point. So that's why I was comfortable betting it. I mean, A, I'm trying to do a challenge and I'm going to stick to it and see if I can actually do it. But I was also comfortable because I had made $1,300. But now, what about total profit? If you add that $1,300 to what was the payout for bet number 12, which was $24,544.72, that gives me a total profit of $25,861.67. That is it, baby. Made $25,861.67. And you guys know what felt good? Withdrawing that money from FanDuel. Oh yeah, that felt damn good, asking FanDuel for that $25,861 and give me that 67 cents too, baby. God, that felt really, really stinking good. Whoo! Oh. All right, so where are we now? Where am I at if I reflect back? Well, let's first reflect back on that impressive run where we won 12 bets in a row. The way it ended killed it for me. I mean, absolutely killed it because, you know, those last few bets when you're making bets at 17, 33, you know, 64 and $12,000, I'm getting on TikTok immediately and reacting with those wins and enjoying the time with you guys. You guys are reacting to those wins and the profits that you guys are getting. And we're, you know, going back and forth per se, even though we can't really interact. That interaction was absolutely awesome. But the way it ended, I either didn't get to upload a video saying I won $85,000, which I was only 2 wins away, or I also didn't get to upload a video. Let's say I lost that $23,000 bet at bet number 13. That would have made a great video. Me pissing and moaning about how whatever outcome I predicted didn't happen, and now I lost $23,000. Oh, keep in mind I made $1,300. That would have made a great video. So the way it ended, when I look back, is like, damn, I didn't get to like have that moment with the TikTok people. Like, I didn't get to celebrate winning 85,000, or also didn't get to, you know, put up what probably would have been a pretty entertaining video of me complaining and cursing about losing $23,000. So I hated, absolutely gutted the way it ended. But as for today, where are we at? I'm still streaking on TikTok. You can find me. I'm at Jason's Winning Bets. Jason's Winning Bets is where you'll find me on TikTok, and I'm still trying to streak. As I get to round to bet 7 or 8, I'm trying to do it on DraftKings, only 1, because I like those F5 team totals, and 2, well, I don't know, maybe they won't limit me like DraftKings and I can go ahead and take all their money. So I'm definitely still doing this challenge. If you guys want to go ahead and streak with me, again, you can go ahead and find me on TikTok. This isn't something I do on YouTube or do on, you know, Twitter. This is something I exclusively, you know, just kind of have fun and do on TikTok. So go ahead and join me on TikTok. It's Jason's Winning Bets. It's Jason's Winning Bets. Let's help you guys turn $10 into $85,000. All right, so there we are, guys. That was my journey from May 29th to May 28th, where I won 12 bets in a row and I put almost $26,000 in my pocket. The greatest part of this was doing it with you guys. It was doing it with you guys on TikTok and just really seeing your reactions and interacting with you guys after each and every single win. Obviously, especially as the wins got obviously a lot bigger in dollar amount. So I had a fantastic time with you guys, but you know what? But I'm not done yet because I'm not won $85,000. So make sure you get over to TikTok and join me, because when I do win $85,000, I want you guys to be a part of it and win $85,000 with me. So there it is. There's my journey to turn $10 into $25,000. Look forward to seeing you guys on TikTok. Enjoy your day. Thanks for watching till the end. I'm Jason Mattis. Any love you can show by giving me a like, a subscription, or a comment, or even just share this video is very much appreciated. And don't forget to turn on your notifications to increase your chances of locking in the same odds as I talked about today. And check out my other great videos in these corners.